Hey, this is Notser, and this is the user replay of the week. Grosse Franz is in the Tier 6 British Battleship Warspite. What the? A dirty German has gotten their mitts on a British battleship. Yes, it's entertaining. Grosse does a great job in this British battleship, and I'm sure even Her Majesty would allow Mr. Franz to be at the helm if every commander performed as admirably as Grosse does in this match. Now, if you have a replay you would like to submit, please submit it to notserreplay@gmail.com. Please have the replay file, in-score screenshots, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and please include the ship name in the title of the email. I really appreciate the extra effort that so many of you have put forth. I'm not going to select just the replay file. I'm sorry. There are hundreds of people who have informed me exactly what's going on in the replay before I view it. It makes it a lot easier for me to find, I feel like showing off a British battleship game where they actually know how to command it, versus me who's stumbling through just to get a British cruiser captain up before the cruisers come out. If you can't produce an amazing game, maybe you can produce an amazing moment. Just submit the timestamp along with everything else. I really appreciate all the enthusiasm and all the replays submitted. Now, Grosse Franz decides to engage an enemy Furutaka. He fires all his guns and, the Furutaka is no longer on the map. It only took a minute and 50 seconds and boom shakalaka. At least someone has played NBA Jam. I really appreciate that. And it fits in perfectly with that. That is probably the worst possible situation, right? You spawn in as a cruiser, you show a perfect broadside, and the battleship picks you out. The battleship with the largest caliber, by the way, so even if you have slight angle, it doesn't matter. It's a really large amount of damage. Now, Grosse Franz engages the enemy Königsberg. Maybe he wants to show how strong the British fleet is compared to the German. And he does 5k, which is fair, but let's be real. It doesn't compare to 26,003 citadels just 30 seconds prior. But the smokescreen protects the Königsberg from certain defeat. Actually, I think he died to torpedoes from a friendly. That's fine. Grosse Franz engages the enemy Nuremberg, and he does 37. Only one shell, but it does penetrate. It doesn't over-penetrate. It doesn't ricochet. It penetrates for 3,700. So if you could get 4 or 5, that's pretty good damage. That's over 10,000. Obviously, the dispersion, the RNG, not going to really work that well. But so far, so good. 2 enemy ships have been defeated on the south side of the map. The north side, however, is not working as well. It looks like most of his team is sort of retreating to B. Grosse Franz continues to engage the enemy Nuremberg, and he gets a big citadel, 11,000 points of damage, knocks out propulsion. The Nuremberg is probably going to use damage control because it is a really bad situation when you lose your engine or your steering in a cruiser or a battleship. You really need that control, because if you're a sitting duck, those battleships really take advantage of you. Now, there's not a lot of battleships in this game. There's 4 total. But this should be the kill shot. Definitely the kill shot. What? He doesn't get the kill. Wow. Grosse Franz, what happened there? What happened with that shot? You had him dead to rights. And he fell into the same trap that I've fallen into. Oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. 3k, 4k, what is that, 2 shells? Maybe? What? We don't kill him, we overpin, and he's alive, barely, so a friendly can finish him off. Yep, that's the way it works. Grosse overleads the Murmansk. There is a border, and you can't just blindly use your normal lead that you would try and make use of. And the Murmansk is a pretty quick ship. It's basically an Omaha. And Omaha is what, 35 knots? 36? So they're going to rapidly reach the border. Oh, by the way, Freedom is sailing in the background. And he lines up another shot on the Murmansk. He elevates the gun slightly, and he chain fires it just to get some damage on him, and he does indeed. 1,700? Okay, that's sort of a payback. He didn't do a significant amount of damage to the Murmansk, but he got the kill. 1 for 1, karma worked out. Both sides can feel confident that, okay, you deserve that one since I took yours. It's good, it's fair. Grosse Franz decides, let's use the scout aircraft to get a little bit of a range to engage Freedom. And Freedom is moving at an angle, hoping to not take any damage. You know, he's got to spread Freedom to other cruisers, preferably not a battleship at first. And it looks like he does do a little bit of damage from the Königsberg. And, no, not a lot of damage there. Franz. Gotta do a little bit better. However, the scout aircraft is not as easy as it looks. If it was, everyone would use it because it would just increase your effective range all the time. Plus, you could peer over islands relatively easy. But Grosse, he's not giving up. 1K, fine, we can do better. He fires again at the Texas. And it's a little long, but he does get 2 shells to penetrate and do 3,700. That's not bad. That's pretty fair. And about right now, you sort of feel like, you know what, I really don't want the scout aircraft anymore. I'm in range of the target that I want to engage. I would really like it if you would just not change this camera angle so much. This Nicholas is trying to avoid taking damage. It looks like he's on fire and his propulsion was knocked out, so you just gotta get good placement. Friendly is able to take him out. The AP sent, whoa! What is this? I've never seen that before. I joke, but I just don't use the map like that. Perhaps Grosse was just trying to get an idea of what's going on in the map. Makes sense. Now, Notser, you sort of said that this game was actually interesting. Oh, it is. Don't you worry. I keep my word. It's going to get very interesting. And the enemies on the southwest side are just outside of range, even if Grosse Franz decides to fire his main guns at Freedom. It's really easy for Freedom to come and go, right? So if he decides, I just want to leave the effective range of the Warspite, he can do that. But he doesn't. And Grosse Franz has a pretty fair lead, just barely hitting the target. 3 shells penetrated for 3K. Each time it goes up 1 shell penetrated for 3K. So which would you rather have, a single shell or 3 shells for 3K? That's about 7K total, give or take. The friendly Minikaze is in range to send torpedoes, and the Murmansk is now in range. And for whatever reason, he's not using the normal camo that gives you all of those stats for free that comes with the ship. I don't know, maybe he just likes the way it looks. It's an interesting choice. And he takes a fair amount of damage. What is that? 7K? 7K, that's not bad. That's not bad. The enemy in the north is about to capture A. There's only 1 single friendly ship left to defend it. And that's not good. The friendly torpedoes miss Freedom. But Freedom showing a perfect broadside. Come on, Grosse Franz, do some damage, take out the Texas. Texas is not paying attention to him at all. And it shows 7,500 points of damage, no citadel. That's really what you want. I mean, the Warspite, the advantage of the Warspite is the gun caliber. They are just so much bigger than your average tier 6. I think it's like 30 millimeters, give or take. That's pretty significant. You should easily be able to penetrate pretty much any target that you're going to come up against, even the high tier. She's really good at that. Her issue is that she takes quite a lot of damage. The shells meant for the Fuso, they just bounce off harmlessly. Not a single shell. Another shell bounce off harmlessly. Part of the issue with the Fuso and a couple of the Japanese battleships, they just lack a superstructure. It's like a pancake on the water. It's just so low to the ground. It's really hard to get your shells to hit a part of the ship that you want it to hit. I mean, that command tower is very high off the water. But if you don't hit that area, you're hitting flat deck. And that seems much better. He hits for 6K. It seemed to hit around the smokestack. and that's pretty good. He's taking HE damage from, I think, the Murmansk. The Murmansk sets him on fire. Now, if you notice, the fire is only going to stick for 30 seconds. That's really low, Notser. What's the deal? He's rocking the signal flag that reduces the fire time. He's also using basic survivability, and he's using the module. Ooh, nice! 13,600. He got a Citadel, a Confederate, and was I hearing that right? It also warned him that he's the last one alive. 1 versus 5? What? This isn't good, Franz. This is not good, but you know what is good? Taking out that battleship right now. He's showing a perfect broadside, huge mistake. The enemy Fuso should be angling. And again, the Warspite's on fire. He hits for big damage. He causes... Does he cause a flood? Oh, no, there was a flood on him from the destroyer that was in the area. Franz helps him get to a point where the flood takes him out. Now it's 1 versus 4. He's going for Solo Warrior +1. He's already 1 down. And notice he also has the warning that tells him when he's taking fire. You know, I might consider picking that up because it does help. It does help you pay attention to one thing and notice that an enemy is firing from another location. And he's still on fire. Even though he has basically the anti-fire, you know, he's got the firefighter build, he's still dealing with a ton of fire. And that's just the Warspite. He also took a big shot from something. I don't know if it was the Texas or the Fuso, but he lost a significant amount of his health in a short amount of time. But the fire goes out on its own because the firefighter build, and of course it's light up again. Now he's got 2 fires, so he should definitely use damage control, and that's exactly what he does. He's still landing great shot against the Freedom Texas. The Texas angle is alright. He's trying to get all guns to fire. You know, if you're in a situation where it's 1 versus 5, the 5 players feel like, okay, I can be a little bit aggressive to try and chip away at my enemy, not give him enough time to heal up. And the secondaries are going off. He gets a really bad shot. The Texas was angling in the shell's trajectory, so it really didn't pin or do a lot of damage, but this might actually work out in his favor. Ooh. 3K, is this the kill shot? It is indeed. Nice. Grosse Franz gets a 3rd kill. And his team's almost going to win the game. Now, the enemies have worked their way towards B. Rather slow, in my opinion. I mean, they're 2 cruisers. They should be on a direct course to engage Grosse Franz. Now, Grosse is working on the Murmansk, and of course, he straddles the target. Not what you want to see. But all he has to do is try and get a kill before the game ends. Oh, a big Citadel. Oh, big Citadel. Devastating strike. He takes out the Murmansk, and just like that, Grosse Franz ends the game in victory, down 1 versus 5. Now, his team did a good job capturing, and the enemy team was very lazy in their recapture, but if he wasn't such a super anti-fire build, he would have died. He would have absolutely died, and their team would have lost the match. So that's sort of why I wanted to share it, along with the medal accolades. Solo Warrior, I have yet to earn it. Arsonist, I believe, because of all the fire damage he was sustaining. First Blood, Dreadnought, because of all the fire damage he was sustaining, he could heal for a lot of it. 2 devastating strikes, High Caliber Confederate. 4 kills, almost Kraken Unleash. He probably would have gotten Kraken Unleashed if he would have killed that Nürnberg. But he did get a free kill in that Murmansk early on that he didn't really work for. He also did 154,000 points of damage, which is very impressive. Grosse Franz earned 2,215 base XP. Not bad. That enemy Alba probably would have earned nearly 2,000 if they would have won the game, so he did a good job trying to keep his team in the match. Of course, most of the damage comes from AP for Grosse. He did a ton of damage against the Texas, the Murmansk, the Furutaka, the Fuso, and the Nürnberg. And only 1,000 points of damage from his secondary battery. That just shows you how bad it is unless you fully spec for it. Because he was in range for quite a while. He probably shot, 38 shells. 3 shells made contact. That's a pretty bad accuracy rate. But the game was fantastic, and the main battery definitely showed how powerful it is in the right hands. Thank you, Grosser Franz, for sharing it. I hope everyone enjoyed seeing the British battleship actually perform very well compared to what Notser can do. I'm working. I'm trying to get my British cruiser commander up. She's going to be played basically every day for that daily double, so I can have a really strong commander when the cruisers come out. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.